I'll get to the end of the gig, and within an hour, I'll just be in my underpants on the end of the bed waiting for Family Guy to come on or something like that. And then I have the same argument with myself every night. You know, you just wind yourself up. I get to the end of the gig, and I think, oh, bollocks, I'm too hungry to sleep. I forgot to eat before the gig because I was too nervous, and now it's late. You can't get any food in Britain, can you, after 10 o'clock? Every restaurant in Britain shuts at 10 o'clock as if no one's been ever hungry at 10:15. It must be the bloody EU, I think. EU red tape, I think it'd be better when we're out. Oh, yes, indeed, when control comes back. I'll get back to the good old days when there was 24-hour apple crumble stands on every corner. Wake up with a good old hard-on for the Queen at 3 o'clock in the morning. Get yourself some spotted dick and gravy or whatever we used to eat in the good old days. Calm yourself down, John. It's coming back. It's coming back. Just relax. What are you going to do now? I think sort yourself out now. I think, right, there was that garage I drove past on the way here. I could maybe go back there and get a pot noodle. That's probably the best part of an hour's round trip for a pot noodle there. Might be easiest to just smash my head repeatedly against the door until the darkness comes. Not supposed to drive for an hour for a pot noodle, really, are you? They're for after the apocalypse. Keep 'em, keep 'em, keep 'em. I think, right, I'm not driving for an hour for a pot noodle. And then that voice kicks in. That's you again, but just trying to piss yourself off. I think, I'm not driving for a pot noodle. The voice goes, well, you're going to have to do something or you're not going to sleep. And, well, I'm not driving for a pot noodle. Well, I did tell you not to eat the biscuits when we checked in. Well, I fucking did do, all right. I'm not driving for a pot noodle. And then it goes, well, you realise it's been an hour now. If you set off when you thought of it, you'd have had one by now. Shut up, me. You don't have to leave the house to do that. You can do that in the comfort of your own home, sat watching telly. You think, oh, I fancy a biscuit. I'll go and get a biscuit. You look in the cupboard, you go, there's no bloody biscuits. Why have we not got any biscuits? We've always got bloody biscuits. You sit back down, but you don't accept that fact, do you? You wait. Sometimes it's 5 minutes, sometimes it's an hour. You think, no, I must have missed them. So you go and look in exactly the same cupboard, in exactly the same place, as if Schrodinger's Jaffa cakes have come up out of nowhere. There's still no biscuits, it's just bloody rice. Why have we got so much bloody rice in this house? Sit back down, give it another hour, you start to think perhaps I could do a quick risotto. Microwave rice and Dairy Lee, is that a risotto? Could it be so simple? And that's when I'll start checking my phone. I'll get my phone out and I'll check my Twitter, and I'm not gonna lie to you, all the abuse that comes in, I screen grab it and I keep it in a folder on my phone, just in case I ever develop any self-esteem, you know. Some days I wake up, I think, do you know what? I feel all right about myself. I have a read of that. I think, oh, no, you're awful. You're awful. I show them to my kids when they're older. Look how much people used to hate your daddy. What did you do to upset them, Dad? So, mostly anagrams towards the end. So, I've usually got it up ready, and that's not a sentence I've fucking used in my life. There we go. So this is the sort of thing I'm looking for. Now, I'll show you that. I know you're not going to be able to read that, but I only show you it so you know it's real, right? I don't want you to think I've made this up, because some of this language is quite ripe, and I would hate for you to think I've made this up to upset you. This is the sort of conversation two lads will have about me of an evening, and they copy me in case I'm curious. So this one come in last year. It starts off, a guy called Bob, about 10 o'clock, he tweets me. He says, I've never liked John Richardson. Right, that's a good start, isn't it? Never. Because never's not just me as a comedian, is it? Never's my whole life. Never suggests, like, even when I was a kid, this guy was just walking up and down his corridor. Oh, there's a little prick somewhere. There's a little Super Mario Brothers cardigan on. I bet he's down at the playground checking for stones in the sandpit so no one gets hurt at playtime. He's got me bang on, to be fair. He says, I've never liked John Richardson. Imagine the first day he saw me on telly. Poor bastard, hard day at work, sits down with his tea, puts the telly on. You are shitting me. How many years I've been telling you I hate this prick, Margaret? All your life, Bob. All my life, Margaret! He's finally had enough last year. He tweets me, he says, I've never liked John Richardson. He's about as funny as. Right, and these are always my favourites, because then you get a funny little image, and if you've not heard it before, it makes you laugh. They'll generally say something like, he's about as funny as a shit on a bouncy castle. And you can't help but laugh if you haven't. It's instantly picturable, innit? Just... everyone at the fair having a good old bounce like that. Someone clocks the turd on that front edge. Selfishly, they think, well, I'll just bounce away from it. I'll just bounce away from it. Of course, because of the physics, it chases after him, doesn't it? Pretty soon, they're all pinned up on that back wall. Stop bouncing, Vicar! Stop bouncing! You can't stop bouncing, can you? You throw yourself down, you'll only bounce higher. They're up higher, the turd's up higher. It's nutting people now. Just get it off me. I'm done with that image there. If you enjoyed it, carry it on in your own leisure. I've never worked out how the turd gets off the bouncy castle. Do get back to me. I don't know if someone volleys it off like that, or maybe someone scoops it up. A hero takes it on the chest, literally, and tries to get it out of there. Anyway, we don't know. He didn't go with that anyway. He went a different direction, Bob. He says, I've never liked John Richardson. He's about as funny as a Yugoslavian rapist. Yeah. It gets that reaction everywhere, so don't feel bad. Just a few sort of shocked whoops there, and some people start laughing and think, oh shit, no one else is laughing, I probably shouldn't. And someone laughs too loud and too early, as if to say, oh, I forgot I'd written that. Now, obviously, the second work is gruesome, isn't it? The second word's horrific. He's trying to be brutal there, but it's the first one, isn't it? It's that first word you think, well, where do the Yugoslavians come into this? I was looking at that thinking there hasn't been a Yugoslavia since the early 90s. He must have Googled, where are the least funny rapists? I guess he's been linked to a survey from sometime in the 80s, you know, when that sort of thing didn't seem so deplorable, and he's thought, well, I'll just go with the stats as given. So he sent that in. I was staring at that for ages, thinking I'm going to have to reply to him. Just say, look, Bob, I know you don't like me, but can I ask why you said Yugoslavian? Because I can't sleep. I didn't get a chance anyway. His mate Mel replies. So Mel's obviously up. He's seen that message and he gets all excited. He's like, oh, we're hating someone. Yeah! I was nearly going to go to bed. I'd have missed this. Right, so he's all excited. He's got a slight problem, Mel, that he doesn't know who I am. It shouldn't stop him hating me, should it? So his first message is just a fact-finding mission. He says to Bob, he says, which one's John Richardson? Right, it's not that upsetting, really, that, is it? No apostrophe S in ones, but I didn't get into that. You know, I'll be honest, there's bigger trouble coming for me than his spelling and grammar. Which is otherwise impeccable, I have to say. Capital W, capital JR, question mark with a double space. You don't see a lot of that. No H in my John. I've got mates who can't remember that. So the guy can obviously spell, he just doesn't use apostrophes, which suggests there's some other reason he's not using them. I start to think, well, maybe he's worried we're going to run out. Maybe he's sick of going in the butcher's, seeing sausages with an apostrophe S. You know, most of us just move on, not Mel. He's looking at that thinking, stop bloody wasting them. Stop wasting them, we're going to run out. I'm not putting mine on the internet, I'll put them down in basement. They'll all come round Mel's house come the shortage. Mel, can I have one of your apostrophes? I'll say, no, you should have looked after your own. Now he's got a basement full of them, and they just waist high. He gets naked once a month and just slides into them like that. Rubs them all over his nipples. So, who possesses all the possessives? You do, Melvin. You do.